Donkey of the day.
Donkeys of the day, ask Charlamagne.
I'm a Democrat, so being donkey of the day is a little bit of a mixed blessing.
So like a donkey. Yeehaw. Okay.
Donkey of the day.
The Breakfast Club, bitches.
Now, I've been called a lot in my 23 years, but donkey of the day is a new one.
Yes, Donkey of the Day for Thursday, November 10th goes to Stephen A. Smith. Now, always remember that Donkey of the Day is my opinion, but if you disagree, we can always have the discussion via the radio or social media. Follow me on Twitter, CTHagod, CTHagod, on Instagram, same thing. Now, I've given Stephen A. Smith Donkey of the Day before. He's a person that I agree with sometimes, and sometimes I don't, but I respect the fact he's not afraid to express his opinion regardless of who gives a damn about that said opinion. I can relate well. Yesterday on First Take, Stephen A. Smith decided to give his opinion on Colin Kaepernick not voting in this year's presidential election. Let's hear what he had to say.
Quite frankly, I hope he goes away. He's lucky to be in the league right now. And him of all people, because of the position he took, because of the attention he brought to the issues, the fact that you don't even have the decency to go to the polls and activate yourself in this election, as our president said, is a damn shame. As far as I'm concerned, everything he said meant absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I don't want to hear another damn word from him. Nothing.
Stephen A. Smith, you sound slightly foolish to me. For him not to vote, as far as I'm concerned, everything he said meant absolutely nothing. You want to discredit everything he has took a stand for because he didn't vote? Did I exercise my right to vote? Absolutely. Do I think everyone should exercise their right to vote? Yeah, if you want to. If you don't, will I judge you? Maybe. But I understand why some people would choose not to vote for various reasons. But in the case of Colin Kaepernick, why would I ever expect him to vote? Colin Kaepernick doesn't participate in the national anthem, so why on earth would he participate in the national election? Kaepernick spoke out against both and Trump after the first presidential debate. Remember he said this? You remember this?
Did you watch the presidential debate, and what did you think?
I watched a little bit of it. To me, it was embarrassing to watch that these are our two candidates. Both are proven liars, and it almost seems like they're trying to debate who's less racist. And at this point, you have to pick the lesser of two evils, but in the end, it's still evil.
So why would he be voting? I just understand getting upset at people for things I fully expect them to do. I fully expected Colin Kaepernick to be one of the 46.9% of eligible voters who didn't vote. And Colin says he doesn't regret sitting out the presidential election. He told reporters Wednesday, I've been very disconnected from the systematic oppression as a whole. So for me, it's another face that's going to be the face of that system of oppression. And to me, it didn't really matter who went in there. The system still remains intact that oppresses people of color. I understand it. I didn't even need the explanation because, once again, if the man already has spoken out against both presidential candidates and doesn't stand for the national anthem, why would I expect him to participate in national elections? But the reason Stephen A. Smith is getting donkey of the day is because how are you just going to dismiss Colin Kaepernick's stance that he took because he didn't vote? Colin has spoken out against police brutality and injustice to certain communities, particularly minorities in America, and because he didn't vote, you want to discredit everything he stood for by not standing? You're just going to try to wipe away all that work he put in? What logic does that make? Now, should someone making a stance on police brutality vote locally on criminal justice reform, or who's the police commissioner, or chief of police, or sheriff? Yes, absolutely. Or if the presidential candidates had some real legit stance and plan for police reform, then yeah, Colin would look crazy sitting out. But in this case, nah. There's plenty of people who fight against injustice who didn't vote this year. Do I think they should have voted? Yes. Am I going to discredit all the work they put in for fighting for injustice because they didn't? Absolutely not. Minister Farrakhan is one of those people who didn't vote. You're going to dismiss the work he put in, Stephen A. Smith? Huh? Does his voice mean nothing because he didn't, because he didn't vote? Go Google Malcolm X, the Ballad of the Bullet, and see what Malcolm's stance was on voting. Does it discredit anything Malcolm X ever said or did? I mean, he's not a freedom fighter, but former President George W. Bush voted but didn't vote for president this year. Should we discredit everything he's done? Okay, bad example. Yes, we should discredit a lot of what George W. Bush has done, but that's not the issue. If you want to chastise Colin Kaepernick for not exercising his right to vote, fine, I understand, because I think everyone should vote. But don't discredit everything he has done and everything he has stood for because he didn't vote. Please give Stephen A. Smith the biggest hee-haw. Like, if you're mad at Colin for not voting, cool, but don't say everything that, he said thus far means nothing.
Discredited everything.
Yeah, no, don't discredit the work he's put in.
The Breakfast Club.